Well, good afternoon. I'm sorry for the delay. I have recorded my video twice, and for whatever reason, it's taken a long time for it to upload. I don't know if it's my phone or technical difficulties on Facebook, but I'm going to make two parts to this video so I can make sure it uploads. So, thank you again for taking the time out for joining G Harper Ministries. And today I just want to discuss when it's not time to get married. When it's not time to get married. Many of you may agree with some of my thoughts. Some of you may not. Some of you may question it. Some of you may need further explanation. Matter of fact, I want to give you my email address. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and we can have some more dialogue. My email address is gharper, Harper, men, M-I-N, abbreviation for ministries, gharpermen@gmail.com. If you have any questions concerning my content or what to do in your situation, or want some better explanation of understanding, just email me. But I want to come from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 and then verses 5 in the B clause. Verses 1 in Ecclesiastes says, "There is a time for everything, a season for every activity under heaven." There's a season for every activity under heaven. Verse 5 in the B clause, the second part of verse 5, it says, "There is a time to embrace and a time to turn away." So here it is. That's my foundation. There's a time to embrace and there's a time to turn away. And I believe this scripture leaves room for us to talk about practical things in our life to turn away from. And there are times when you and I need to turn away from a relationship that is headed towards marriage, but it's not the time. How do you know it's not the time? One of the first things that I would like to teach you is you're not ready to get married, or you should say no to marriage, and it's not time for marriage when you are getting pressure from family and friends. When you are in a relationship and you are now in a season to where mom is pressuring you, dad is wondering when he's going to propose, and you perhaps are putting pressure upon your boyfriend, even your fiance. The wedding date has not been planned. He hasn't put money down on the ring. Stop allowing people, friends, family members, your sorority sisters, girls who do your hair, boys at the barbershop, pressuring you to do something that you know that you're not ready for. Even if you've been together for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe you're young, maybe y'all just not have developed into that phase yet. But nevertheless, do not marry under pressure. That's what I want you to take away. Your parents, your siblings, your friends may give you good advice, but some won't, some will. But don't pressure yourself or your person you're with down the aisle for something that you're not ready for. Second of all, don't get married based off the perception of social media. Social media will ruin your relationship. If you take into concept all the proposals that you're looking at, all the weddings that you're seeing, and it will jack up your theology on when you are supposed to get married. You are sitting there depressed and upset because you have seen one more person get engaged. One more person has got married. And now you up here side-eyeing your boyfriend, your fiance, or whoever he is, because he ain't proposed to you yet. Don't allow social media to trick you. You don't know what that couple is going through. You don't know why he proposed. He could have done anything to save face in front of the world to do a proposal. So don't mess up your relationship. Don't put unnecessary pressure and conflict in your relationship because of social media. There's a picture that went viral. I can't pull it up now because my phone is still trying to upload this other video. But it went viral, and it was a white couple who was married, and they showed the front side, but on the back side, the man had the woman's hand gripped very tight. The wrist was bent, and you could see bruises on her hand. And that's a great picture to illustrate how social media can misconstrue what's really going on in their life. So don't allow social media to change your perception or to really blind you of the reality. Social media is not reality for everybody. People only put up good stuff half the time. The fake stuff. They hide the real selves. So don't get married based upon the perception of social media. Third of all, don't get married specifically based off status or income. If you are marrying specifically somebody that has a very high status in their community, in work, they can get into any ball or party, they just have access to so much. You may fall in love with that, but don't base your decision to marry that person because of their status. You know why? Because status can change. Something can change, and when the status change, what you going to be in love with? What you going to be in love with when you walk in and you got to stand in line now? There's no more VIP. There's no more gowns that he can buy you and sit him beside the mayor. Or, you're not sitting on the front row anymore. You're now sitting in the stand, the high stands. Don't marry because of status. Status is good. Everybody likes somebody that has influence in the community. If you have that, fine. But don't solely base your decision to marry him or her because of their status. And second of all, don't fall victim to falling in love and marrying someone just because of their income, because of their money. Don't do that. That's taking advantage of somebody. Money is important. You want your spouse to have a job. You want the person that you have to have potential at least to get there. But if you met somebody and they are financially stable, that is good. But don't take advantage of that and love them because of their money. Love them because of what they can do for you. Allow that just to be a plus to the relationship. Learn who they are. But if you want to marry because of status and income, you're going to mess around and jack yourself up when the money is gone and the status is depleted. Here it is, number 4. Don't get married solely based upon. Let me give it this disclaimer. I know all of my audience is not saved. Everybody who's watching this video does not believe in abstaining from sex. So I need to talk about this. So here it is. Don't get married solely based upon premarital sex. Because the sex is good, because he or she has done some things to you that ain't nobody ever done. They have given you experiences that's so memorable. Have you distracted at work and at church? You can't even think. You just want to go see them. Don't marry them solely based upon how good sex is. That is not correct. That is not the only reason why you should marry somebody. I'm trying to help you. Sex is important in a relationship. That sex, money, communication, and trust is very important in marriage. So I'm just trying to help somebody. Don't marry specifically because of good sex. And here it is. I'm about to go to part 2 because I need to make sure this is uploaded. But if you have had a child based upon sexual sin, those who have this ideology of thinking that those two individuals need to get married because they had a baby out of wedlock, I think that's contrary. If those two individuals don't even know each other, it could have been a one-night stand. They could be knowing each other for a few months, a year. Allow that couple to work it out themselves. Allow them to come up with it. Allow them to trust God, but don't force. No parent, no grandparent, no pastor, nobody needs to force two people to get married because of a baby. I've seen it firsthand. And you never know what's going on behind closed doors. And the ones who are forcing those two people to get married, you don't know what you are joining together. I want to pause and I want to upload part 2. Hold tight.